All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another Best of ECL highlight. Just a quick update before we get into this. It was my idea to basically scrub through all of the VODs for the ECL. It was a year-long tournament. It was a really good tournament. There were lots of great games, but I feel like a lot of them got forgotten about just because there were so many. But the LAN is just around the corner now, 2 weeks to go, and there are only 2 tickets left on our website. So if you are planning on coming, you probably want to be buying them when you're hearing this right now. But yeah, we're going to re-upload some of our favorite games from the tournament. There were some suggestions to recast them now that we have Capture Age, and that was a really good idea. And if we had more time, then I think that would be a brilliant thing to do. But we're really busy preparing for the ECL. There's lots of things left to do still, but it's going to be a really awesome event. We're really, really looking forward to it. But either way, I hope you can enjoy this game. Basically, I am told by Robo that Jordan had recently just come out of a retirement of sorts. He's coming back to play in the ECL for Team Secret, who in this game basically sling him a shit ton of resources and he has to go 1v4, which I won't spoil the outcome, but it is pretty interesting. Enjoy the video.
And Game 3 will be the decider. AM versus Secret on Cross. We haven't seen this map yet today, but I'm really looking forward to this one because Cross has been, in my opinion, it's been the best map in the 1v1s, and I'm interested to see if it's going to hold up in the 4v4s as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I personally love Cross for a lot of reasons, right? I played very famous games on Cross. We had it at NAC. The T90 show matches now had Cross as well, and it's like a beautiful mixture of land and water. Team wars are possible, easy to screw up as well. A lot of early aggression is really strong, and I'm super excited. There's so much on the line in this one single map.
Yeah, man, and it can't get better than this. Aftermath versus Secret, two of the best teams on the block right now, and we just had an amazing game one. A very interesting game too, and now we're going into game 3 right here. We've got Cross, always been a map with a lot of excitement, a lot of different strategies available, and we've got Aftermath here on the right side of the map. In the blue, it's Hart playing on the left flank as the Burmese, the pocket player Leary in the green playing as the Mayans, the other pocket, Nikov in the teal playing as the Italians. And then down to the south in the grey, it's MBL playing as the Mongols on that left flank. So they've taken Mongols and Italians from the Civ pool, and then they've free-picked Burmese and Mayans here.
For me, absolutely reasonable. Civs on the other side. Civs that I did not expect coming that way. The Viper, Celts, okay, incredibly strong imp civilizations. Khmer, yeah, incredibly strong if we get to late imp as well, but you need to get there. You need to have 130 builds. Before that will be tricky. Doubt Italians makes a lot of sense. Nice boom. And Goth for Jordan. That's another thing that I didn't expect and that I honestly don't like.
Some very different civs here, I think, and I think it's safe to say the Aftermath team have gone for the more traditional civ picks. Mongols, Burmese, Mayans, and then Italians. Obviously, both teams taking Italians for this one, thanks to the water control, with the ability to take water control. And, well, I think the Italians are decent in the late game anyway, because if you look at the lineup for AM, the Italians are going to be like the Bombard Tower player, right? They're going to be doing the Bombards and the Genoese crossbow, and maybe the Siege, more of a support role. For the Secret team, Khmer, I feel like it's a bit of a risky one, but the risk could pay off if they get super late. And then the Goths. Why don't you like the Goths here?
Just in general because team walling can be really important. Goths not great with their early economies, so if they get pressured, that's really tough. If you get onto late imp, you're bad in like one-dimensional fights. Goths kind of need to spam a lot, like we had the chance earlier for Riot on Acropolis. That's something I don't really see that Jordan can get into, and also not the greatest Crush either. So where's the real strength for God?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think in this lineup, they'll actually do quite well. Because if you look at Aftermath, they've got 3 civs, which are all going to go ranged. Mongols, Mangudai, Burmese, Arambai, Mayans, Plumed Archers, Italians, Genoese Crossbow. Huskarls could be good in the mix here. And I know that Secret are very, very thoughtful about which civs they pick. And maybe the Goths was the last pick for them. And they were like, yeah, let's just do Goths. They've gone for 4 ranged civilizations. Throw Goths in at the end. Bit of a curveball. Maybe the Huskarls could have a big impact here. In my opinion... Go ahead.
Are they drafting? I thought it was hidden civ.
No, they pick one after each other. They pick back and forth. And it's visible.
Then that makes so much more sense. Okay, then it's likely that God was the last pick, yeah. And we don't really know what the other civilizations were left, right?
And, you know, thinking about it like that, would you rather have the Goths against 4 archer civs, or would you rather have the Slavs? Hard to say, but we saw how the Slavs were pretty ineffective in the first game, and maybe the Goths could do better.
Okay, yeah, all makes so much more sense now. And so maybe we talk a bit about the map and why this one is, again, a bit different than others. Sometimes we have defensive, safe spawns for both sides. Not in this one. We will have 2 contested pawns at the top and at the bottom, and 2 safe pawns here. And we see Doubt going for the water control. So it seems like Jordan will play on land, Doubt will go for water, and Tato needs to go for the left-hand side full fish. I don't like that he only built 1 dock there, since he's the only guy who can really fish boom for his team.
That's true, and he's also taking the time now to wall up as well with some big walls. Secret, though, looking like they really want to win the water here, and the ponds have been absolutely pivotal in the 1v1 matches, and it looks like they're really putting emphasis on taking the water here as well. 3 docks for Secret in the north, just 1 for Heart, with a second one coming up after this villager kills this wolf, and then in the south it's 2 docks for MBL, 2 docks for Viper, and I think MBL's feudal first, so that could go quite well for MBL in the south here. Mongols versus Celts on the water there.
So funny, MBL and Nikov running around with their scout through the TC of Viper, and he can't do anything because no will's there. And yeah, you indeed said some water aggression here. Viper with 4 fishing ship against 2 of MBL. I think Viper will lose some of those though. Will we see any land aggression? Am I missing something, or is everyone walling? It seems like Nikov at least is going for some scouts.
Yeah, Nikov got a villager kill on Viper there as Viper's trying to close off the wall, and he's going to try and delay the wall as much as possible. MBL being a little bit of a bodyguard as well with a low HP scout, just trying to delay Viper, maybe do some chip damage, keep the wall open long enough for the next scout to come along. I wonder if they can do it. Viper doesn't have a barracks, so he can't even make a spearman here. They just need to keep the scouts alive and stop the wall. There's only a single wall piece. He has to keep it. And it's closed. So nice try from Nikov, but that's closed off, and with that, there is no getting through. Viper then a full wall, going for water, and then maybe into a sling? What do you think? I mean, would he sling?
First off, there's a hole between Jordan and Doubt. Obviously, those 2 are failing it, and Jordan's front is still open. So he's actually open at 3 different spots, so scouts can still do something. But nice move there, Viper. And what was your question?
Would Viper sling here? And I think the answer might be yes, because he's putting down a market right now.
I think he is first of all trying to contest the water.
Yep, but he's won that now. Kind
Let's
of.
see about that. He needs a market regardless, right? It gives him cartography as well, so it is a nice upgrade for him. I don't think he should really go for the sling.
Okay.
But, well, we'll see about that.
But, I mean, there's some good sling targets here. You could sling the Goths, or you could sling the Khmer. Could be interesting. But let's see. I mean, Khmer player just about to click up to Castle Age. Doubt is just about to click up to Castle Age as well as the scouts come into his wood line. And Jordan 23 is just moving out to gold. Fighting for the water. Was he fighting for the water a little bit? No, he wasn't. What's he been up to then? Scouts.
Oh.
That's it. He made some scouts.
Oh man, I would have loved to be in TeamSpeak there with the Team Secret guys. How they're screaming at each other, oh, scouts in my wood line.
Yeah.
And John screaming back, yeah, I vaulted here. No, I vaulted till here. Oh no, why is it open? And at the same time, Tedo and Viper just face palming.
Yeah, I can see it now. It's like a sitcom. But,
Okay, no.
but it looks like Secret are going to win the water. And they're going to win the water on both ponds by the looks of it.
That's just so weird. And that's what we saw in NAC over and over again, right? How MBL and Leary lost the water to Tedo and Viper there. And especially against Viper. And then they really made the boom happen. And I feel they're maybe a bit undervaluing the strength of the water. Look at that fishing ship count now from Tedo. He's just going ham. He didn't even build a mill yet.
He's got 25 fish. Well, if you want to make elephants, you certainly do need a lot of fish. And we're going to see Viper. Well, I mean, it could still be a sling. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's sent any resources out yet, but I think he was struggling for food for a while. But now that he's won the water, he can add some more fish. Jeez, 24 fishing ships. How long do you think it's going to be until he fishes that lake out with that many on there? 27 now.
About that, and I think Tedo even needs to add a mill, not to really get food, but to get the farm upgrades at some point. Oh man, that's so weird.
Well, at the moment, second TC for Tato, and third TC should be coming up as well. There it is. Just a big boom for him. It looks to me like the focus is going to be on the Khmer player, and just doing Khmer elephants, and there it is. Tato. What? Wait, hold on. Tato just paid 500 food to Jordan. Is that right? That is right.
That is right.
Well, I mean, he's got food to burn, I guess, if he's got the fish. Slinging the goth, then?
But still, he has 0 stone, 0 gold. He cannot really use those resources. I think Tato should have added 1 or 2 more TCs before actually slinging. Yeah, I don't like that. Is it a longswords move?
Doubt slinging Jordan as well right now, by the way.
Oh, God.
Tato slinging Jordan, Doubt slinging Jordan. I thought they'd sling either the Khmer or the Goths, but the Goths aren't really in a position to utilize it yet, as you said, unless he's going for some fast imp, and then he'll power down a castle and start spamming from the barracks once he gets to Imperial.
Doubt is actually slinging Viper.
Doubt's slinging Viper? The Viper's still in feudal. He's only just clicked up to castle.
Yeah, but he only clicked up because Doubt gave him resources.
Oh, okay. So not a full
This is
sling, just a
so
sling to get him to
confusing.
castle?
Don't ask me!
Okay, I won't ask. Jordan's powering up his castle now, though, like I say. Interestingly, he's not clicking up to Imperial yet. He doesn't have the gold, but maybe he'll get enough gold through the sling to do that. It's getting confusing now. Who's sending who to what and why? But we do see Leary. Let's focus on Aftermath for a minute. Ignore that carnage. They are starting to get castle up there. They are going to be booming up a little bit as well. We've got a castle coming up from the Burmese player. We've got 3 TCs from Nikov, I want to say. 3 TCs from Nikov. He's booming away. Leary in the south working on his boom with 3 TCs as well. But the big story is the fish, really, again. The secret team have way more fish.
Yeah, and now Doubt is also slinging John. I'm trying to understand this game for us, guys. It is pretty tricky. Okay, so Leary is staying on Plumed Archers. We have Burmese going for a Rambai. I hope Nikov is at least booming. And maybe so is MBL with 3 TCs. No, he's going for a small push against the Viper. This will be a tricky game. They need something against the Huskals.
Well, this is what I was saying right at the start. The Huskals. This is probably how maybe LOS could have done it in the Acropolis game with a sling to the Goths instead of letting the Goths boom. Because let's be honest, the Goths are the strongest in the earliest part of the game possible. The longer the game goes, the Goths, let's be honest, kind of fall off a little bit as they just don't have the population efficiency of their units. But right now, at 23 minutes, Imperial Age with fully upgraded Elite Huskarls, you've got population efficiency right there. And you're against Plumed Archers, and you're against Arambai, which they counter. Well, maybe they don't counter Arambai, but they definitely counter the plumes.
Yeah, agreed to that. Rambai could still do some dance for sure. Question is, how is... now the Plumed Archer even scouted more barracks. They know that the Huskarls are flying in, and they see that Dowd is still in feudal age after having a lot of fishing ships, so they know that he has to be slinging for sure. They have to know that something is up. Now they see Jordan and Imp. What is their reaction? I think even going for Castle Age Elephants here for Hart is an option.
But Hart's done 2 petards. He wants to do a wall bust or something, but he's going to go bust if he doesn't defend from these Huskars soon. Jeez, I mean, that's a nice idea, but yeah, they have to make something happen somewhere else on the map and make the Huskars defend rather than get aggressive, I think. I think they need to get the Huskars to go to the other side or something like that. So we'll see what they can do there. At the moment, Huskars being kited down. There's knights here. Nice to see Jordan doing pikes so soon, though. He's not afraid to mix them in nice and early. But at the moment, not quite a lot of momentum yet.
Pikes actually means that the Plumed Archers are actually back to some efficiency. Nikov now on the way to Imp. Is he maybe switching into hand cannoneers? That is an option. And still thinking about the 2 petards, where should they go? Probably towards Dowd, but he's double walled everywhere.
Yeah, he's got house walls and stuff. I mean, there's a single palisade here they could break and go around, but the Goth player could quite easily react to that, I think. But yeah, taking a little while for Jordan to get his upgrades in. He's not got elite Huskar yet. He's just finished Perfusion. He's making Condottiero as well. I don't know if that was a misclick, but he's got a couple of those on the map. He's just doing one of everything. That seems to be the plan for Jordan here.
Sick, that's actually so good. I thought about Italians can just go hand cannoneers for Nikov, but well, then condos are back on the menu. This is just so tricky. How do you counter this guy?
It is quite tricky. I don't know. I mean, this is the thing. Right now, they can counter him by microing, but we haven't got Elite Huskar yet, and these guys are just still struggling, and they're still losing ground to the Huskars just when they run at them. So yeah, it will get a bit tough. So far, though, Jordan with minimum raiding. He's mostly just been working on getting his numbers up, and his numbers are looking quite decent. 26 military and rising quite quickly here.
Oh man, tricky stuff here. Okay, so Hart still trying to defend, trying to run around, has enough Rambai out to one-shot those condos or Huskars, which actually look quite similar as well. Never seen them really next to each other.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. And now let's see. Some push towards the Viper. How can he defend that off?
Well, he's got the help of Jordan, of course. Jordan's building a barracks over here. 2 barracks, in fact. There's already Halbs ready and waiting to take down the Knights of Nikov. Nikov's actually teching into Cavalier right now and might immediately be regretting his decision when he realizes that he's going to be pushing into a wall of prickly, pointy pikemen. Definitely doesn't want to be doing that in a hurry. MBL, meanwhile, doing men-at-arms as the Mongols.
Oh god, why again?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can see the reasoning. It is against a Goth player. So
Yeah, but
what's,
that's
oh my god.
awesome. No, the fact that he's going for this right now is so unusual. Like, when have you seen this before?
Well, MBL is a guy who goes for that. But yeah, it is a good option for sure. Love that. A lot of people would have not thought about that. They would have maybe tried to play with Cavalier and Mango Dice since they are Mongols. But champions will be so efficient. That's tough to counter for Jordan, who is now attacking towards the champ line as well, though.
Yeah, Viper here trying to patch his wall off, and he does, because there's no ranged units there. There's just the mangonels. But yeah, I like that he's doing this. Long swordsman coming through. Like you say, though, Jordan is also teching into the champions, and they will trade more effectively versus, or cost effectively, versus the Mongols there. Meanwhile, though, Jordan's damage has been minimal. 50 kills, 120 deaths nearly. It's hardly been an effective Imperial sling for Jordan.
Yeah, only worst KD is from Tato here. Yeah, no elite Hascals, and it seems like he still gets sling from Doubt, but soon Tato will switch on to elephants, and they will be pretty good against everything that AM has at the moment. So the tech switch could be nice.
Still, I can't help but feel like it would be better to maybe get the Khmer to imp and get aggressive with elephants. But I think the reason you do it with the Goths is because they're much faster at putting the pressure on, and they're able to start massing up units really quickly. But right now, Jordan not massing up much at all. I mean, he's got 30 military, and the Aftermath team have considerably more units on the field at the moment, with Lyri at 44 plumes, Tart at 14 Arambai, and Nikov at 31 Cavalier, and that just unit composition is working much better for them. The Arambai quite good at against the Huskars, even doing 7 damage per shot, and the Cavalier working as a bit of a meat shield as well. Just that combo of units working so nicely for them.
I think it also was because of like the anticipated strategy here of AM. A lot of times you could see a sling on the Mayans player there. He had an early Imperial Age, maybe mass elite Pumed Archers, and therefore they wanted to have the counter with mass elite Hascals. Didn't really happen, wasn't really that efficient, and now the push through the center against Stout.
Yes, going quite deep there as well. Now, obviously, the Italians don't get Paladin, but he has got +4 defense and attack, so his Cavalier are still pretty damn good. I mean, that's a very good reason to go for Cavalier here. It's pretty good for the situation at the moment, but here comes the first elephant from Tato, and I think the idea is really, you stall with the Goths, and then you go for the elephants with the Khmer, and you clean house. Is Doubt going imp, or is he going to continue slinging toward the Khmer player for some additional elephants, I wonder?
What is he really doing if he goes imp? I think just having a lot of elite Haskell out, a lot of elite battle elephants, and let the Celts do his job is good enough. Thing is, we need a transition into real units from MBL now, because his champions won't really do much in the future. At the moment, 0 castles from our Mongols player, though.
What do you mean, real units? He's making champions, Nilly. Does that not count? Come on now. MBL, these champions have had the time and the place, but I think it's a lot of wasted time and resources, to be honest, because long term, they really aren't going to cut it. And now that there's elephants on the map, like you say, there's very little that those champions have to offer, and he really needs to start teching into Mangadai. But first castle just coming up for him, and it's an aggressive castle as well. I don't like that. I think he needs to build that castle at home, because that castle there is way too exposed and way too likely to die or be denied.
Yeah, agreed on that. Something more on the back. Try to get your tax up. Try to increase your amount of mango dice first. Would be so much better. But honestly, it just feels like he's not getting enough army out. And now he should get on to Halberdiers. But, well, that's not really an option for Mongols.
Dead Vills. Oh, okay, not quite Dead Vills. The castle went up, but I don't think it's going to stay up for long. Viper's got his rams here. He had some heavy scorpions as well. Celts, of course, just doing the siege. And on the north side, Heart's gone for champions as well. What is going on with Aftermath and champions today? I guess it does work well versus the Goths, but, they're not playing only versus the Goths this game.
Yeah, well, they are
unit.
pretty sick, though, right?
Yeah.
The Mies champions, they can really do quite a lot, and God is just dying against that. So it will be tricky for Jordan now. They simply need more defense at the right-hand side, though. And Elite January's Crossmen are incredibly good against Battle Elephants. But, well, I said Genoese Crossbowmen won't be good if we see any onagers on the map. Well, the Viper with his heavy Scorpions kind of doing the job as well.
Yeah, the Genoese crossbow are great, but, you know, Siege Rams, Scorpions, Onagers, it's all three counters that you could possibly need in one go from the Viper here. And meanwhile, on the north side, you've got Battle Elephants coming in for Heart now. And I like that. You know, he's, again, probably bought some time with the champions. They've been pretty effective. But now the big boys are here. Now the Battle Elephants have come into play. But he's got nowhere near as many as Tato. Tato's got 41 military, Heart has 38, and Tato is exclusively making Battle Elephants right now, whereas Heart has some champions mixed in. Meanwhile, NBL's rushing to get some pikes out to try and defend these elephants, but it is not a population-efficient unit, and he's just lost another castle. So NBL is never going to get onto Magadai if he loses all of his castles, and they're already going down so quickly.
Oh man, yes they are, and he's lucky that the Viper is mainly going for rams now. If they only had like 3-4 traps as well, they could have pushed even further. Doubt now in, taking to Elite Genoese Crossbowmen as well. Nice interception in the back here for Nikov, buying some more time, so maybe he can hold there. It feels like Jordan is in a lot of trouble now. Where is Leary at the moment? His Elite Plumed Archers? Not really efficient anywhere at the moment on the map.
No, I mean, he can bring some plumed archers to the south to do what exactly? Attack the rams, try and hit some elephants? They're going to do nothing. Tato finishing Tusk Swords. He's got 16 plus 7 attack now, backed up by heavy scorpions. Look at that. The heavy scorpions even taking down the ram, the onager, like instantly. The third castle for MBL goes down, and MBL's wide open now. Jordan... He is losing ground, but I think he's going to be able to hold and lose ground slower than the guys in the south, than MBL. I think MBL has already lost more ground than Jordan has in the last 30 seconds than Jordan has the whole game, and he's got the backup of Doubt here as well.
And now heavily housed as well, trying to get some more up by building them in the front, trying to build them in the trade, so that's not beautiful. And simply, not having any answers there to the better elephants. Nikov not really controlling the hill in the center there. It's just so tough for them. Hard is now trying to come over with elephants, but tricky spot for them. Simply because Leary can't do much. The guy who boomed the most can't get any kills anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Plumed Archers just become null and void. I mean, what do they possibly add in this game at the moment? And what can he possibly do better than Plumed Archers right now? I mean, Eagles aren't really an option. Not down here, they're not. The Elite Battle Elephants and Heavy Scorpions. Would Eagles work at the top? Maybe, but they wouldn't do any better than Plumed Archers there, so Plumed Archers are still the unit of choice, but they're just not as effective as they need to be.
Okay, let's try to find out who is going for trade and where. Because at the moment it feels like everyone is pushing at so many different sides. That's not really an option. Okay, Battle Elephants now going down the south. Market is up there. That's just so tricky. I believe it all comes down to map control, and soon people need to transition into like Hussar units.
Maybe, yeah, if the gold starts running out. I think that the secret team probably have the better option to trade since they aren't missing one of their flanks. But I like this in the south, quite a bit of monk action, converting some of these scorpions. Viper will lose those in the end. And quite a nice hold there from the Aftermath team. Very well held as they start moving now toward the north. And I see a lot of dead elephants on the floor for Tato as well. Interesting that he lost about 8 or 9 elephants there, and Hart lost nothing. How did that happen?
Oh, power of Genoese Crossbowman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're talking about Tato there. Yeah. Oh, but Tato now going for a big double there at the top, and there's nothing against that, and that's just because they have so much map control. Genoese Crossbowman trying to intercept there, but that will be heavy losses for Hart before that, and he is getting tripled and completely smashed down here.
The Genoese crossbow is the perfect unit right now. I mean, it's so good. They absolutely annihilate elephants. And Nikov not even doing the defense upgrades on his crossbow. I mean, well, they don't annihilate elephants if they go and sit underneath them, but they annihilate them from range. I mean, look at Hart's elephants here dying to these crossbow from Doubt at the back. They're just getting picked off one after another. 320 health means nothing to these guys.
Oh yeah, it's just so brutal. And as we said, like, yeah, they're so nice at the moment. No defense upgrades on Nikov's units though, so that's kind of sloppy. And trade is running still bad trade for the Viper. I'm not sure where his markets are that the trade cards are running so weirdly. It seems like, does he still have a start market or something? I'm confused here.
Sorry, who's this Nikov?
No, the Viper. His trade
Viper?
cards were always running through the right hand side. Seems like
Weird.
Jordan's wall. Look at how many trade cards he's losing.
I'm not seeing this.
Like, look at the center of Nikov's Elite Generalist Crossbowman.
Right.
Right hand side. And they're trade cards of the Viper. Okay, never mind. Just
I don't
continue
see
with the
that.
fight.
I literally
Okay.
don't see that. Okay.
All good.
I see no trade cards on my screen. But okay, anyway, I think I was going to say the plumed archers from Leary could be useful in the north to kill the Genoese crossbow from Doubt. I think that's basically where he needs to be.
Yeah, as I said, like, yeah, against Doubt he needs to fight, but not a lot of siege there. And the Viper, well, with his Celts, that just feels like a kind of unstoppable army there. Mass amount of Scorpions, not even attacking for Onagers. And now Tato's moving forward with traps. That's just an incredible push against Nikov. MBL is, again, not really getting the kills on the map.
No, you're right. I mean, what can MBL add right now? Onager, Siege Onager. He's doing pikes, but pikes here not effective, not at all. Not when you've got heavy scorpions on the hill.
I'd even say like Hussars is an option, right?
Hussar.
I'm not happy with that suggestion, but it feels like one of the only options. And now they're getting pushed back in the north, not enough buffer here. And now the Huskars are coming back to efficiency for Jordan.
Yeah, now I see the trade carts as well. He's got so few of them. But now I see what you mean. They're kind of going through the middle of the map. Got it. But at the north side, Leary can deal with these Genoese crossbow reasonably well. I mean, the plumed archer has more health and more armor, pierce armor. But then you add the Huskars into the mix, and you've suddenly got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, that's true, and that's why they're building elephants, but still missing Tuscan sword there. And we see the Viper now even tagging 4 SO there, so that could be another unit added. And indeed, the Viper's already coming over with siege workshops. Lovely team play, and they are just continuing to push at so many different spots. I am in a world of pain.
Yeah, I feel like MBL, he'd probably love to have some Mangadai on the field right now, but he's built 3 castles and lost 3 castles, and that just isn't an option anymore. So, I mean, he's making siege onagers. I think that's the best he can bring to the table, but we'll see. We'll see if he can hold it. It doesn't look promising, does it? It does not look promising. As even Jordan's bringing some Huskars down to the south now as well.
And that's just lovely team play. You see Hard is coming over there as well. But yeah, Leary simply has an army that cannot really do much. MBL is forced onto Pikemen in a 55-minute 4v4 team game. Not your preferred choice. Jordan now with a perfect composition to kill everything at the right-hand side. MBL has some SO. Maybe they can land some key shots here against the Viper.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do with the Siege Onager. It's going to be pretty critical, but I mean, at the moment, MBL is struggling. Amazingly, he's actually got more population than Hart, but he is down to 75 vills, which is a little bit on the low side. Certainly not out of the game yet, but the ground has been lost, and they need to be able to turn this around at some point. Otherwise, they're in big trouble at the end of the day anyway. We had some raiding from Jordan in the north. That seems to have been dealt with now, but Doubt making good progress as well. And again, good teamwork from Secret, because you've got Viper with some siege onagers in the north as well. And they're using the siege onagers to push through behind the Genoese crossbow, just for that added firepower. So Viper's on both sides, providing the support, providing the siege. Not a single non-siege unit on the map for Viper, I think.
Oh man, he did tag everything though. So let's see if he maybe wants to add some later. His O shot's not really connecting with Leary at the top. But now we see Bomber Towers. They added from Dowd as well. And they are so close to the trade, not even a whole screen away. This will be so tricky. AM. What can they really do from here on?
I'm just watching for Viper to hit a massive Siege Onager shot onto Lyri's plumes, but I don't think Lyri's going to let that happen. I want to see it happen, but I mean, they're zoning Lyri out so hard. I mean, with Siege Onager in the north, he can't engage these Genoese crossbow very easily at all, without at least risking losing his entire army to Siege Onager shots. If he goes down to the south, there's Huskarls down there, and there is a lot of elephants, which he's very ineffective against. And I just feel like, the Mayan player just can't contribute enough here at all.
And that's what we said several times now. Maybe some SO support at the top from MBL could really help out against the army composition that we have over there at the moment. But then again, Huskarls could have just raided that as well. It feels like AM is only in this game because this is so important. Obviously, you want to take away points from your toughest opponent, want to get them on your own board as well. But it feels AM kind of out of options.
Absolutely. The elephants from Hart now going down very quickly to the Genoese crossbow in the north, and the GG is called as Secret push in on both sides of the map and conclusively win on both sides at the same time as well. Really well played there. In the end, I think it came down to having the better late-game civilizations more than anything, Nilly. And it certainly doesn't help that MBL couldn't get onto Mangadai. Mangadai in the south, do you think it would have made that much difference? I think it could have been pretty good.
I was scratching my head during the game, and I think it sounds super weird, but the Mongols player slinging the Burmese could have been an option. If the Burmese just gets onto champion trap, he should just kill Jordan instantly. He was missing the steam, and MBL is basically going for a weaker unit, then hard and slower. But that's just my crazy head.
But maybe it would have been better then for the Mayans to sling the Burmese, because then the Mongol player is still free to make the siege and to make the supporting pikes, or even make Mangadai as well if they can afford it. Because I think the Mayan player had the least impact in that game. Well, maybe not the least, because if you look at the KD, you can see he clearly got the best KD on his team. However, I think when it came to the late game, the Plumed Archers wouldn't have done more than Mangadai, and they wouldn't have done more than more elephants would.
That's really a spot where a post-interview with both teams could really help us out.